Even as a kid, I was almost a little bit too ambitious. The only thing I really knew was that I was going to be a successful entrepreneur. And I remember going to school all the time, and I just didn't see how school was going to help me get there. The reality was I was sitting at home every day just trying to figure out how to make it work, how to make it happen. You know, what I found out was entrepreneurs tend to just make it through trial and error. They kind of brute force their way to success. And that happened relatively quickly for me because I started at such a young age. By the time I was 19, we had taken one company from an idea to an IPO. We'd taken another company from $2 million to $20 million in just under a year. But the more successful I became, the more trapped I felt. And I remember just walking into the office every day and just immediately my blood pressure would start rising, my body temperature would start rising, my heart rate would go up. And I just remember thinking, this is gonna be my whole day. This can't be my whole life though. So I knew I had to make a change, and I got out of that company and took some time to really just think about what I was trying to do. And what I discovered was my true passion is entrepreneurship itself and business itself and the power of business, because a lot of people want to change the world. Everybody has ideas all the time about how the world needs to change, but the only people that actually do it are entrepreneurs that go out there and take action. So that's really what drives me. That's what makes me jump out of bed in the morning is let's go out there and find a problem and solve it now. Let's create a network of successful entrepreneurs and just help each other to change the world through our businesses. Because some of the best times I've had in my life are just sitting down and having a drink with an entrepreneur, tossing ideas around, and trying to figure out what's the next step. How are we going to change things? How are we going to shake up this world? If everybody actually took action on these ideas and changed the world through their businesses, imagine what a better world it would be.
My parents brainwashed me in the best way possible. They told me that I could do whatever I wanted, that I could blaze my own trail in life, but that I needed to do something that was productive, that I was interested in, and that I had to do it really well. So the first thing I found that fit those criteria was the stock market. I absolutely obsessed over it. It was just like all the video games that I was obsessed with, except for if I won this game, I got to make a bunch of money and live a great life. So I wanted to get as good as I could at this game. And so I spent all my high school career, all the nights, just studying charts, studying the market. How could I win this game? And by the time I got to college, I was good enough at the game, I had a good enough track record that I was able to raise a $500,000 hedge fund. That went really well, to the point that in 2007 and 2008, the most difficult market conditions in history, I was able to make a profitable return to my investors. And around that time, college introduced me to a few things. I started working with some startups and found how fulfilling actual value creation was, how entrepreneurship had the potential to shape the world around me. And so I started to lose focus on day trading and on the hedge fund. And I knew one thing about the market, if nothing else. If you're not a slave to the market, you will lose. If you have focus on anything else, you will lose. It's guaranteed. So before that could happen, I returned my investors' money with a profit and decided again to follow my own path. When I finally looked up from my trading desk, what I saw was a world consumed by uncertainty and fear in the wake of the worst financial collapse in history. And then I saw my opportunity to pass on this wisdom that my family gave to me about carving out your own life, about being your best self, and creating opportunity where others only see chaos. And at the end of the day, the choice has always been yours.
And that's why we created StartupBros. Now we have this community of entrepreneurs out there that we can help empower on their own journeys to change the world.
And change their lives, lead the life that they want, carve out the path that they want to go down, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And now we have tens of thousands of people all over the world that, we've helped on that journey, and people that are living the lives they want to because of this community, because all these other entrepreneurs, we pump each other up, and we have so much drive and ambition and motivation just seeing each other succeed and actually change the world in the ways that we want to.
Yeah, seeing the lives change is absolutely amazing. You know, the dads that get to stay home and help raise their babies because they don't have to go to that crappy job anymore. Those college kids that don't have to graduate and lead that life of quiet desperation by going to some 9-to-5 that they don't want to be at. And even, you know, senior citizens that don't want to live off of their Social Security checks anymore.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the best part about it too. You know, there's so many internet marketers, so many get-rich-quick guys out there that are just trying to hype things up and sell a whole bunch of fluff, really. And this is so much different because these are people that are creating real successful companies that are actually changing their lives, determining their own destinies, and living the lives that they want to lead.
And enduring change, not something that is going to go away in a month.
Absolutely. And now you see so many people that we've helped. You know, not only it's great to get from the 0 to 10,000 level to the 100,000 level, but that's really where we enjoy working with people, is after you get past 10,000, after you get past 100,000, let's talk about how to build a big sellable company, something that's really going to put that dent in the universe.
Mm-hmm. And the whole StartupBros team embodies that entrepreneurial spirit. And that only helps us share it with more budding entrepreneurs. And the more entrepreneurs in the world trying to change it, the more actually do.
What I think is really valuable about what Will and Kyle have built here is that they've built a machine and a community that teaches people how to be independent. And not only that, it's a support network because, you know, Will and Kyle, they are only two people, but when you attract other like-minded people, you build a whole cohesive community of other people who, you know, can share their advice so that everybody benefits from everybody. And from what I've seen, I'm just taken aback by the value of, not just what they're doing, but what everyone else in their community is doing. It's just astounding.
I absolutely love working with the StartupBros. It's an inspiring experience. Every day I come to work, I help people achieve their dreams, whether that be financial stability or being able to travel the world or spend more time with their families. I also work with extremely inspiring individuals, and that helps me be a better person in the long run.
Seeing the guys, the way they get to have the freedom in their life to travel, to see their families, you know, to really experience day in and day out everything that, you know, the world really has to offer. And that's what they want to bring to their clients. You can't have someone that's a typical 9-to-5 when you're trying to sell a dream of having freedom. You really need to live that life. And I think, you know, not only the guys, but they allow us to have that type of life as well. And that's really what you need to learn from.
They built something amazing that I've personally seen people's lives change. I mean, you know, you always hear the dream, the story, how, you know, working with online businesses is fantastic. I mean, it's why I got into it. And to see how it's impacted people's lives and how these guys are so generous with all the information they're given. And, you know, as a marketing guy as well, I'm wondering, giving it all away, you know, how are we making money here? No. And, but, you know, it's really not about the money. It's about the community. It's what they've built. It's absolutely amazing. And getting the freedom of working and realizing there is a work-life balance. If, you know, you find the right people and work with the right people, you can do that and actually thrive, and I'm a believer now. So I guess I drank the Kool-Aid, and StartupBros is where I'm at.
So head over to the StartupBros website, sign up for a webinar, comment on a blog post, hell, you can even email us personally, but let's get in touch and start this journey together, because once you take the first step, I think you're going to be really surprised at how quickly you can transform your life and the world.